Hi guys, welcome back to the Daily Dreamer. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me and sharing a dream or two. I know it's been a hot minute since I got you some dreams out there, but I have been dreaming. But life has also been taking our focus to other areas of life that need more attention than dreams, apparently. But not to say that I am not dreaming. I'm just going to get right to it because this dream was just so fun, if you will. All right, so I wake up and I come to now. I have no idea why on earth I ever dreamed of this man, but I did. There he stands right as I wake up and come to. Lou Diamond Phillips. Okay, no idea. I haven't thought of him since, I don't know, La Bamba. But yet there he stands, and he's in line, and he's purchasing tickets for me and two other females. One of them is his love interest that was just made known. Or it was known. Anyways, he's buying her tickets to an avocado plantation. That's what he said. For me, he was buying tickets to a lilac festival, which was awesome. And the other girl, I think he was doing a raspberry thatch. That's what he said, or blueberry thatch. I don't know, one of those things. I didn't pay much mind after he said lilac festival because I was excited. Anyways, his love interest. She takes the tickets, hands us ours, and says, "I'll drop you off on the way." So we all jump in her car. Well, as we jump in her car, she starts to head out. Now, where she heads out, really interesting. It happens to be on this, like this super freeway. And this freeway is kind of going up. It's just kind of going up. It looks like it's going straight to the moon, but it's on a rainbow. And as we start going up, we start accelerating in speed to the point where we were going so fast, it almost felt like we were going light speed. Well, I see off in the distance, this other, I don't know, vehicle or something coming our way. And I got a little bit more and more concerned because as we're approaching, like light speed, this thing is coming at us just as fast. Well, I happened to look over at her. She is now underneath the steering wheel, using her hands, like as though she's using the brake and the gas. Like that's how she's navigating. She's not even watching the road because she's underneath. So I start panicking. And I was like, "What are you doing? Get up here and drive. We're about to hit something head on." She comes out of, underneath the steering wheel. She looks up and she says, "What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. We're about to hit head on." She says, "We got about 2.5 seconds to impact. Calm down. Up here, we know 2.5 seconds can be forever." Well, it must have been forever because at that point in time, then I was just actually being dropped off. So we must have succeeded. I was being dropped off, and where I was dropped off was not the Lilac Festival at all. It happened to be this huge green Victorian home. Okay, I only got a second just to look at it, and then I was inside. And when I got inside, I was overwhelmed with energies that were depressing, old antiques that held energies that were not right. They were very dark, very haunting. It was just too much for me. It was too much stimulation, and I needed out because the energy wasn't right for me. But as I was trying to figure my way out, these two ladies come over, and they are even more intense. They're following me around. They want me to give them a tour of this house, as though I knew about this house, and maybe I did. Maybe it was my house. I don't know. But they wanted me to give them a tour. They wanted to know about every antique in that place. And I finally stopped because they wouldn't leave me alone. They were following me from room to room to room. And I finally stopped and I turned around and said, "Why? Why do you want to know so bad about this house?" And they said because what they were doing was they were incorporating it into a modernized mall. Okay? They said, if this house upsets you, no worries, go over there. We've made it expand, and this over here will comfort you. So I go now, instead of like this house that it has all the walls or whatever, there's this one portion of the wall that is not there, and it transitioned into a modern mall. So I step in there, and it's just like a mall. It's got its nice soft glowing light, yellow. But as I'm looking down the hall of the mall, or the center of this mall, there are businessmen who are being distracted, and they're laughing, and they're having a good time. But they were being distracted, and they were enjoying themselves over these inventions and new gadgets that were coming on board or being sold at the mall. Like one guy, for example, and I don't know why this was, but he had like a fishing rod coming up from his back, and the line that hung in front of him held like a business card in front of him. I have no idea, but he was laughing at the fact that here was his business card in front of him, and I don't know what it was meant to do. Don't know why he was enjoying himself over something so trivial, and it didn't seem of any importance, but yet there he was having a great time. All the other ones around were doing the same thing with these new inventions, but they weren't new at all. They were just silly little gadgets. They were finding a sense of humor about them. Well, that wasn't comforting me either because I couldn't find the logic in it. And maybe that's what my problem was. But I wanted out of the mall too. Well, I found the door and I went out the door. And when I went out the door, I came out the door and I'm standing now in front again, the big green Victorian home. And I remember the windows. The windows were absolutely astonishing. They were beautiful. And I remember thinking to myself, I wonder what it's like to wake up every morning and be able to come down those stairs and look out that window. But then it dawned on me that was the same house that I just needed to get out of. So as I sat there pondering why I was so mesmerized by this house, yet so disturbed by this house, I was whisked back to consciousness. What a crazy dream. I thought I'd share that one with you. So I don't know, what do you think the dream meant? Well, let's go find out what I think it meant to me. Okay, guys, so what do you think the dream meant? Okay, well, my interpretation of it was about this upcoming moon that we are entering into. So we have this full moon on the 24th. And as with all full moons, this particular one is going to be amplified as far as its energy goes for us. Because as the moon moves through the zodiac, it's coming into Capricorn. Capricorns, if you don't know, they can be very careless, very irresponsible, very erratic. They are very intense, but they are very optimistic creatures. Optimistic, and they love their freedom, but they are very intense. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind because the moon is coming into Capricorn, so things are going to be even more amplified for you. Okay. Our emotions, just like the moon, go through their cycles. So while the moon is going through its cycle, we also go through our cycles. For example, with the moons, okay, when you have a new moon, for us, we equate that to new beginnings, new choices, new chances. And with new beginnings, there are feelings, new feelings that happen. Well, these feelings, they cultivate themselves day after day, night after night, and they keep growing. They keep growing to a point where, just like the moon, they reach their peak. Okay, well, it just happens to coincide with the moon. Go figure. Figure that one out. But it just happens to coincide, and that's why people say when the full moon comes out, here come all the crazies. It's not that the crazies are finally just emerging once a month. No, it's because of the fact that our emotions as humans reach their peak too. And there are some that can deal with them a little bit better than others, but some people cannot handle the intensity of those feelings and those emotions. That's why they make rash decisions or their impulsive behavior. That's why there are severe mood swings up and down, because the intensity of emotions, sometimes we cannot process it in a healthy way. And now we're just finding ourselves reacting, right? Okay, so what's important to remember here is that as we move into this month, Sagittarius wants to remind you to keep your whimsical side about things. Be carefree. Keep that sense of humor this month because you are going to need it with the intensity that Capricorn brings to you. Okay? Because if you don't have a sense of humor, what's left? Anger, frustration, madness, and that's just going to spin you all up. Something you don't want. So if you want to keep your sanity this month, remember that sense of humor. Okay? Don't be surprised if you feel overwhelmed. It's just what Capricorns do. They love to just boom, 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 boom. Here you go. Gotta go. You know, that's just them. Just ask me. I know I've lived with one for like 11 years, and I know the intensity that they can be. It's madness and chaotic, and it's just, you know, so don't be surprised if you are feeling that way. There are things that you can do to mitigate, you know, what you're feeling during this upcoming month. But don't be surprised because that's just typical Capricorn behavior. Keep in mind, this is also happening during a solstice month. We are usually in a solstice period, we are finding ourselves having to already feel alone in facing our past or our pains, our hurts. And so, with the fact that Capricorn is coming in, it's going to feel even more intense. Okay, so just be very aware of that. And when you find yourself getting to the point where you do not feel like you can handle these energies, do some things that are definitely going to relax yourself. For example, spoil yourself a little bit more this month. You want to go ahead and take more bubble baths. You want to, go ground yourself, go walk in nature, do your grounding mantras, anything that's going to bring you a calming sensation. You want to read books, listen to soft music, meditate, do your life breaths, do your deep, slow breaths, especially when you are feeling so overwhelmed. If you are out there in the real world and you are just like having a moment, just for a moment, go somewhere or just take a deep breath. You would be surprised at how relaxing that can be. Okay? If you carry gemstones, rhodonite's a good one because it relaxes your nervous system and it releases stress and it calms the heart. So you want to be able to, have that around with you. Sleep with it if you have to. It's like a worry stone. You can just keep it around. It also will allow you to be able to have the creative ability to go ahead and complete your daily tasks with ease. So carry rhodonite around with you. Okay, that'll definitely help. Color-wise, you want to go ahead and stick with your blues and your purples and your pinks, your lighter colors, because our eyes perceive the therapeutic frequencies from those colors, and it'll calm us naturally. Okay, stay away from the oranges and the reds and the yellows because those are meant to stimulate the nervous system, and you don't want to do that. You definitely want to go ahead and recharge. That's important. Try to get yourself to bed between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. because it is well known that during that particular time, there are some wonderful healing, frequencies that come through the lovely planet's spheres, and it's during that time that we recharge our vessels, and that'll help in a big way. There's other things that you can do. Whatever it is that you can find delight in, you definitely want to do this month for the next 30 days. Just keep in mind it's going to pass through. Hopefully it'll just be a quick one for everyone and that we're all not feeling so overwhelmed with some intense energies that are going to be coming our way. You got to prepare for that. Drink a lot more water. That's going to help you. Just take a moment and spoil yourself because you deserve it. But, you could always, I don't know, maybe take 5 minutes for yourself and sit in quiet and let it pass. I don't know, just my thoughts. Anyways, guys, until next dreamer, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Many blessings to you and sweet dreams.